Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing some dashboards, DIY, and basically something like this made out of these dollar store chopping mats. So I'm going to go ahead and break them open and kind of show you guys what you get. So for $1 you get these two lovely kind of plasticky sheets of dollar store chopping mat. And they work great for creating kind of the dashboards for your planner. So I attempted this once off camera just to kind of see how it would go. And I think I kind of fine-tuned how to do it so that I could do it for you guys on camera. And FYI, I figured out the focus thing as we go through the video. So sorry when things kind of get out of focus. It's whenever I lift anything too close to the camera, it focuses on that instead of, what I'm doing there on the chopping board. So kind of figure that out and toggle back and forth so it gets a little better later in the video. But again, another learning curve thing. So basically each cutting mat is 14 inches wide by 11 high. So it's perfect. You can cut it exactly in half, well, roughly exactly, which is what I found, because it's a little bit bigger than just 14 inches. But you can cut it in half and get two dashboards out of each mat. So each mat is a tiny bit over, so I had to go back and kind of do a little bit of trimming, which you're seeing me do now, and also kind of help because sometimes I didn't cut it perfectly straight, so it helped me kind of even those out. So I'm just kind of measuring to see what I'm going to trim next, because the page width of a classic is 9 1/4, but then you need another, I believe, 1/2 inch for the tab at the top. So I'm trimming off the bottoms, and basically, so it has like a nice rounded corner. I'm basically trimming that off, and I'm just going to make a very shallow kind of roundness to the corner at the very end, because that that big rounded edge isn't going to work. I have to cut some of it off, so I don't want to have to try to mimic that again at the top. Okay, so I've got my, here's me figuring out the focus thing. It's like, okay, focus. Okay, I think I got it together here. All right, so so here was my first attempt, and basically I'm doing it so that it's not 3/4 of the size of a dashboard, that is the full page size. So I was trying to figure out how to place the middle tabs so that they kind of all layered evenly. So that one you can do the edges first, and then you kind of have to like eyeball it, kind of get a template going if you're going to do it the way I'm doing it here. And it was a little bit of trial and error. I just kind of like lined up the tab and realized, okay, I need to push it a little bit this way or push it a little bit that way. And so it might be better to do it like with paper, kind of trace it out and then kind of transfer that to your divider. Another thing I learned is that you can't really write on these chopping mats and then have it come off. I even tried with Sharpie and alcohol, which usually always comes off, but it wouldn't come off on my first attempt. So what I'm doing is I have this washi tape that's exactly a 1/2 inch wide, which is perfect. And then, so I'm just kind of tracing where they're gonna go, and I'm writing on top of that washi so that I can just peel it up later and there won't be anything on the actual dashboards I'm creating. So I'm just trying to make sure that they're all kind of straight and even and aligned. So I'm cutting them all in the same area. I realized after I put the washi tape on that I probably could have cut them off a little bit, cut them to size at the very top of the washi as you see there, and then put the washi at the top of the dashboard. So if you're doing this and copying me, that might be a step you want to do ahead of time instead of putting the washi and then cutting them all down and then cutting the tab out, which you're going to see me do. But the washi hack I thought was pretty good just because it definitely helped me kind of see where things were aligning and make sure that my tabs were where I wanted them to be, since I didn't have a a real pre-made template as far as, you know, there was nothing pre-made by Happy Planner that I could just copy exactly, since the other dashboards are not quite a full page width. So here's me just kind of checking to make sure that the tabs all kind of line up, do what I'm wanting them to do. And see, here's the chopping board. So this is what I meant by, you could do this step before you put the washi tape on and then trim it, so that if you can make sure that the line is straight. But I eyeballed it pretty well, so this worked out for me. So now what I'm doing is just trimming the inner edge of the tabs to kind of save myself some grief trying to keep straight lines with scissors. So I'm not going all the way to the tab, I'm going kind of like maybe 3/4 of the way, so that, and I'll finish up the rest around the tab and the little extra straight line with scissors. Okay. So just kind of rounding the corner and following my little trace lines. Sorry, it's blurry when I kind of hold things up away from the desk. Just another one of those little things that was, you know, giving me grief in this new camera age I'm in. So you can kind of see how it's coming along and see how they're lining up, making sure everything's good. Okay, just going to finish this last one here. I really think the washi tape was a great thing, because it being exactly a 1/2 inch was perfect. And it just helped with, I could write on it, and if I made a mistake, obviously I could just rip it up and pull another one and do it over again. So taking off the washi tape now so you guys can kind of see the final results from that. And so the next step is actually doing the punch for the discs. I have a Happy Planner punch, but these are just a little too big to go through there. They're too thick and it won't punch through. So you kind of have to do another hack, which is to use a single hole punch, one of the handhelds, which I have there on the side under the red divider or dashboard there. And as I'm talking about that, I realized I put them all on the wrong side, because I want the shiny side of the cutting mats to be at the back. So I had to change where all of those washi tapes were, flip them over to the opposite sides. But again, great for tracing where you want them to go, and that way you'll have a clean dashboard when you're done. And so basically, if you have one of these handheld single hole punch, they kind of go through a lot thicker papers, and it will go through this plastic, which is great. So if you punch through the dots, like just kind of line it up with the half circles of the disc, you'll get a perfectly aligned layout, and then just go through and cut a little strip in between each circle, just to give enough room for it to slide on the discs. It really doesn't matter if you go a little bit too big, or, you know, just don't go too small, because then it will kind of stick when you try to roll it over the discs. So here I'm just kind of testing it with the washi in there, and worked great. So now I'm going to peel off the washi, and so one thing I realized, I'm glad I kind of did these one at a time, was that if I pull up the washi before I cut the little strips at the bottom of the circles, then I won't have to peel it up one by one. So that is what you'll see me do once I repeat this step on the next 3 dashboards. So again, just kind of lining it up, and I'm making sure to line up the dashboard with the top of the tab and not the bottom, because these are a tiny bit big on the bottom, or at least bigger than the dashboard I have there as the template. So I'm just making sure that they're all going to be aligned the same. So I'm aligning it with the top just to be sure, and then if I need to trim off the bottom, I can at the very end, and it wouldn't affect anything. So I don't even bother tracing the entire disc hole with the little lines. I basically just do that little half circle and move on all the way through. So I can just quickly align my hole punch, and then again, like I said, you can just eyeball the other little strips as you cut them through. My arm was getting quite a little workout trying to punch through this plastic near the end. I might have been dulling the actual hole punching through this plastic, because I feel like it got harder as I went through. So here you can see that I'm going to pull up the washi tape before I actually do it, so it comes out in one strip basically. Kind of simplify my life. And then now all I need to do is do the trim outs. I was thinking about doing 2 at a time, and then I was like, no, let's just put in the extra effort, make sure you don't mess it up. So I'm always trying to be more efficient, you guys. I hate doing things that are repetitive, so little tidbit about me. And then one more to go, and I think that's going to be it, you guys. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and leave me a thumbs up down below, and a comment as well if you'd like to get in touch. And think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. All right, you guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.